We don't witness it very often, but when we do, we know it right away when we see real humility. Not the humility that comes when you're indicted because you've been caught, all right? Not the humility that comes at the end of a football game when you blew a 16-point lead at halftime, all right? Not the humility that comes waking up in the morning and realizing, I can't party like I once did. I'm talking about real humility, the kind of humility that is born not out of a surrender to the reality of the moment, but a humility that's born out of love, a choice. This is the humility that we are called to embrace as Christians, because real humility is a choice we make, a decision that we must make over and over again in our lives. And that humility alone is what will bring us to exaltation. So how do we come to that? The scriptures pave a path for us today in three simple little ways. First, to acknowledge that we all have the same origin. Or as the old saying goes, we all put on our pants the same way, one leg at a time, right? Malachi reminds us in a better way, just simply ask questions. Have we not all one Father? Has not one God created us all? Then why do we break faith with one another? Why indeed, when we are all children of God? Second, to believe that humility begins with gentleness. It's not a popular word in our culture because we like words of courage and strength and hero. We place a great value on winning and being on top and being strong-willed. And yet Paul writes to the church of Thessalonica and to remind them that we were gentle among you as a mother cares for her children. He had strength and courage and toughness. There is no doubt there. He won the race, and he was certainly strong-willed. But his gentleness was wrapped in that strength, or his strength was wrapped in that gentleness. And it's what we see over and over again in our lives. It's that gentleness wrapped in the strength of a family member or a hospice worker caring for the dying. The strength that's wrapped in gentleness when a parent holds their newborn child for the very first time. When we see those images, as we do so often, of a soldier carrying a wounded body of a child across a battlefield because they were caught in the crossfires of politics that has become war. We are surrounded by images of it day and night if we just take the time to notice. And number three, to remember we all have power, all of us. It's not a question of whether we have it or not. It's a question of how we use it. Jesus acknowledged the power of the Pharisees. They had a power that could have done so much good if only it was used to raise the lowly and cast down the mighty, but it wasn't. They were using it to raise themselves into places of honor and build up their might. All of us have power. We all have roles of power that sometimes we don't use too well. You kids, you have power over your parents. You can pout and threaten and make life miserable for them. You parents, you have power over your kids. You can pout and threaten and make life miserable for them. We all have power. The rich have power over the poor. We use our wealth to make sure we live in safe places and have better schools and get positions of life to retain that wealth and power. The poor also have power. It's a power sometimes to just to play on people's heartstrings, or the power to use street smarts to take advantage of someone else. We all have power. The question we have to address and answer in our lives and in our institutions is not if we have power, but how will we use it? The path is paved because those who exalt themselves will be humbled, but those who humble themselves will be exalted.